Hey, today we're going to talk about proteins. Protein is made up of amino acids. So it's a chain of different amino acids that make up a protein. And there's complete proteins and incomplete proteins. A complete protein has all of the essential amino acids in it. And incomplete proteins are going to have most of them, but not all. Some incomplete proteins you can think of are legumes, so your beans, or quinoa, or a lot of your vegetables like broccoli. Good source of protein, but it's incomplete. It doesn't have all the essential amino acids. So the purpose of protein is to build and repair. So, if you're exercising and you are working that muscle and you feel sore the next day, that's because you've torn those muscle fibers. And it's the protein's job to go in there and repair those muscles. And for bodybuilders or people who are trying to build muscle, the protein helps to build and repair the muscle. So we should be getting 30% of our daily intake from protein sources. There are healthy proteins and unhealthy proteins. Healthy proteins that you want to eat more of, if you're not a vegetarian, would be eggs, poultry, chicken and turkey, fish, low-fat cheese, nut butters, Greek yogurt, legumes, and tofu. Tofu is from the soybeans. Edamame, just which is soybeans, is a great source. Greek yogurt over regular yogurt because there's a higher amount of protein in the Greek yogurt. A lot of Greek yogurts are about 15 grams of protein in it, whereas a regular yogurt might have maybe 7 grams of protein. So you're getting a lot more bang for your buck with the Greek yogurt. Proteins that you want to avoid: red meats. So your, steak and pork is not considered a white meat. It's considered a red meat. Your processed meats, so that's your deli meats, things like pepperoni and sausage and hot dogs and anything that's been processed so that it's not in its natural form anymore. A lot of the deli meats are they have nitrates added to them, which are pretty dangerous. And there's also usually a lot of sodium added, which is not great either. We don't want to get too much sodium in our diet. So avoid those processed meats. The skin on poultry, so when you're eating chicken or turkey, it's fine to cook with the skin on because it helps keep the meat juicy, but when you go to eat it, take that skin off. Skip the skin. There's a lot of fat in the skin. And whole fat dairy products. So when you're going, if you consume milk or if you're doing yogurt, go for the 0% or the skim as opposed to the whole fat ones. Let's see. So currently in the United States, we eat way too much protein, way more than we need. And one of the dangers of too much protein is protein gets processed through your kidneys. And if you eat too much protein, it can really do a lot of damage to your kidneys. If you are eating a lot of protein, you want to make sure that you're also drinking a lot of water in addition to that. So currently, protein intake in the United States, for the average person, they're eating about 70% animal protein and 30% plant protein. The recommendation is if you flip that. So we should be getting most of our proteins from plant sources and less of our protein from animal sources. So how do we figure out how much protein we need? Well, the recommendation for the average person is 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight. So we figured out how to do this per kilogram of body weight in one of the other videos, but I just put it out here for you to make it easier if you want to calculate how much protein you should be getting in a day. Something I didn't add here as well, we had talked about in carbs how there are 4 calories per 1 gram of carbs, 9 calories per 1 gram of fat, and there's 4 calories per 1 gram of protein as well. So if you're 140 pounds, You're going to divide that by 2.2, and that comes to 63.6 kilograms. You take the 63.6 kilograms and multiply it by 0.8, which is the recommendation, and you get about 50 grams of protein per day. Now, this is for the average American. You might hear a lot of people at the gym who are consuming a lot more than this. And typically, what these people are doing is they're trying to build muscle. So if you're trying to build a lot of muscle and put on bulk, then yeah, you're going to need more protein than this. In my experience, most of you are probably not trying to put on bulk, and you're trying to lose weight and get more lean. But if you are trying to bulk up, then you would increase the amount of protein that you need per day. So 50 grams per protein per day, recommendation 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight. And like I said, if you're increasing your protein, make sure that you're drinking plenty of fluid. A good time to have some protein, one with every meal, because protein is going to help keep you full longer. So you want to include some protein every time that you eat. You also want to make sure that you include a good source of protein right after your workout. As far as protein shakes, most people don't need them. They're not really something that's necessary. You can get your protein source from food very easily. A lot of protein shakes, you're going to get half of your protein needs out of one shake, and that doesn't leave you much for the rest of the day. And you're putting a lot of strain on your kidney if you're using protein shakes. So on the other hand, if you're at the gym, you're trying to bulk up and you want to add in those protein shakes, by all means, you can message me. We can talk about what some healthier ones are, because there's a lot of unhealthy shakes out there that have a lot of junk added to them that you want to avoid. So that's it on proteins. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a message, and I'd be happy to chat with you about protein. And stay tuned for tomorrow.